Hello again, welcome back to our second lesson. This is the second part. So far, we have mentioned the structure and the distribution of power in Germany. Before the war, we mentioned that the most important person was the Chancellor, who was answerable only to the Kaiser, to the Emperor. And we mentioned that the Reichstag, the parliament in the beginning, was not very strong. We mentioned Otto von Bismarck as one of the strongest and most powerful, but also very influential chancellor, and Wilhelm II and his ambitions. We discussed how Germany developed into a continental power. On the continent, they became stronger, and its aspirations to become a naval and colonial power. We discussed the left-wing and right-wing parties, and we mentioned the naval laws that were passed by the Reichstag, allowing Germany to build more and more warships. Now let's take a look at, again, this map. I would like to remind you about the German Empire and all the other powers around it. The Russian Empire, especially very strong, Austro-Hungary in the south, France as a very strong colonial power, and Belgium, which is, although a small independent country, it is also a colonial power already in Africa. So these are the main continental powers, and by the beginning of the 20th century, Germany takes its right place amongst these continental powers. Now, Germany during the war, we are not going to talk in much detail about the war itself. We are just going to stop at some very important events, not in detail. Now, the causes of the World War remain controversial. Right? A lot of signs showed a major conflict brewing, and these signs, so the reasons basically were militarism, imperialism, nationalism, territorial disputes, arms races, and shifting of the European balance of power. So all of a sudden, Germany started to become stronger and stronger. It was not very well welcomed amongst the other countries. The arms race began, who is becoming more powerful, territorial disputes, border problems, and of course colonialism. I want more colonies than you. So all these were reasons that led towards an atmosphere the beginning of the 20th century. These were all combined into reason, which then created the situation, and the excuse was given when Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria was assassinated by the Bosnian Serb Gavrilo Princip. He was a member of the Serbian nationalist organization. So the assassination was an excuse, but the real reason was not the assassination. It was imperialism, it was nationalism, it was territorial disputes. So these were the reasons, okay, a mixture of reasons, and the excuse was given by the assassination. Now, Austria-Hungary immediately declared war on Serbia, and soon all the powers joined in, and everybody joined in on their friends' side. Okay, Germany and Italy on Austria's side, Russia, France, Great Britain on Serbia's side. Now, most battles took place, of course, you learned this in year 6, that most battles took place on the territories of France, Luxembourg, and Belgium. This was the so-called Western Front, and Russia, which was the Eastern Front. So Germany did not have a lot of battles on its own territory. So there was also fighting on land in Italy, the Middle East, and some parts of Africa. Now, let's talk a little bit more about Germany during the war and the life of the ordinary people and the effects of the war. Now, although most fighting took place outside the territory of Germany, food shortages in Germany had pushed many Germans to the brink of starvation. The food was sent, the very little food, of course, was sent to the soldiers, and after a while, not even there. Farmers were short of laborers to bring in the harvest, as of course young men had been drafted into the military, so German farmers could not work on the farms. They had no laborers. There was a huge difference between the lifestyle of the rich and the poor, so the people who owned the factories and the people who worked at the factories. Now, even women were called sometimes to help the war effort, and this was very controversial because many believed that this undermined traditional family values. Women are not to work in factories. Okay? Women are at home to take care of the education and raising of the children. A flu epidemic had a terrible impact also on Germans, as the people already had very little bodily strength. They were not eating well, so a very little disease could create huge damage in the population. And eventually, of course, the war left 600,000 widows and 2 million children without fathers. This was the legacy of the First World War. Now, right after the war, how Germany suffered. After signing the Treaty of Versailles in France on the 28th of June 1919, Germany lost all of its colonial territories. Now, 13% of Germany's territory was lost. Okay, it was given. These territories were given or taken by other countries. We will see on the map soon. 80% of Germany's pre-war fleet was destroyed. Okay, 45% of the iron production was lost. 16% of coal production was lost. Germany also faced a huge bill for the war known as reparations that had to be paid to the other countries. Now, let's take a look at the map that shows us the original, you can see the German Empire, and the yellow territories were taken away. The yellow and the green territories were taken away by other countries after the World War. Territories were lost to Poland, Czechoslovakia, France, Belgium. You can see the flags, and Denmark. You can see the green territories were controlled by a body of international powers. In the north, you can see, and close to the French-German border down in the western region. So we have gone through the most important points of the Second World War from Germany's perspective. There's a lot of things to be said, of course. We did not go through the battles and a lot of other events. I would like you to answer into your copybook. I need you to have a copybook this year for history. And I would like you to write down the following questions and the answers. You can use the information in these slides, and I hope you took screenshots. They will always help you. Here are the questions for you. When was Germany united? Who was the chancellor, and why was he important in the German Empire? Why was Wilhelm II different from the previous emperor, and what were his ambitions? Who did the right-wing political parties represent? Why did the left-wing political parties become so powerful? What were the causes of the war, and what gave the excuse for declaration of war? The two are not the same, okay? Causes and excuse. Where did most of the battles take place? Okay, and do you think that the Treaty of Versailles was fair? All right, so this is our lesson. Thank you very much. See you soon in our next lesson.